Hey and welcome, it's me Kathy, and Super Bowl is right around the corner. And in my fridge, I had some Guinness from when I made the lamb stew a while back. I had the cold cuts that I used for our Italian pizza. And I had some puff pastry in my freezer, as I always do, because it's a great vehicle for leftovers. And some cheese, like I always have. And today we're gonna make, for a Super Bowl snack, we're gonna make our charcuterie pinwheels with a beer cheese dipping sauce. And it's gonna be lots of fun, and let's do it. We're gonna start with a puff pastry sheet. I'm gonna pinch these seams and then I'm gonna roll them out so they don't break. And I'm probably gonna need both of the puff pastry sheets that are in this box to accommodate all of the meat and cheese and stuff that I have. So we're gonna roll this out. We'll roll that into a nice rectangle, and then I have some Italian dressing that I made. We're gonna just lightly brush this, give it a little tang, a little garlickiness, a little herbiness, and spread that all around. Okay, the dressing is on. You can see that I've left a little edge because we're gonna egg wash that when we roll it up and make sure that everything fits. So we're gonna start with a layer of sopressata. Line that up, overlapping slightly. 4 pieces fit perfectly. Followed by a row of Genoa salami. And next will be a row of sweet capicola. And because I had them in the refrigerator, we're gonna line up a few little banana pepper rings. This is what it looks like. Our cheesiness is gonna come from our beer cheese. So I'm just gonna lightly brush these edges with an egg wash just to make sure it seals up when we roll it. And now we're gonna roll it up. Okay, here we go. We're gonna roll this baby up nice and tight. I should have flipped this over and rolled it on both sides. We still have some seams on the other side, but when I cut these into pinwheels, that's where I'll do it. So, sorry about my hands. Pull this back. Pinch a little bit. And then roll it down on the seam. And I'm going to refrigerate this for a little while. I'm going to just pinch these ends a little bit. And we're going to repeat, because I have more cold cuts and more banana peppers left over, we're going to repeat this with the other puff pastry sheet, sorry. Make another roll. We're going to start our beer cheese with some butter. And okay, we're nicely melted, and right now we're going to season this with some salt and pepper. Let's get you out of the way. How about up here? And some onion powder and garlic powder. And because we're Italianizing this, we're going to use some dried oregano. And some dried basil. We're going to stir that in until we get bubbly. And now we are bubbly, and we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour. We're going to add cheese to this, obviously, so we don't need a very thick roux. And we're going to incorporate that until it thickens up a little bit. And we need to keep stirring it for about 3 to 5 minutes to cook off the starchiness of the flour. And now comes a cup of Guinness. You could also use a wheat beer or any kind of beer actually, but I just had Guinness in my fridge, so that's what I'm using. And we're gonna stir that up. cook it off for a minute or two. And now comes a cup of half and half. And we're gonna keep heating this till it gets thickened and incorporated. We have reached the boiling point, which means this is as thick as our sauce is going to get, and much thicker once we put in our cheese. So we may have to thin it out a little bit, but we'll adjust that as we go. And now it's time for some Worcestershire sauce. Get that nice tang. And again, for more tang, we got some mustard, some grainy mustard, and that goes in. And in order to incorporate that best, we're gonna need a little bit of a whisk, I think. Okay, here comes our cheese, and because we're trying to Italianize this, I'm gonna use that. I think I've used this cheese in every recipe I've made since I bought it. So the Italian cheese is going in first because that's gonna take a little longer to melt than the rest of the cheese. The rest of the cheese is a combination of Cooper Sharp and American, and that's going in next. Here comes the rest of our cheese. This is about 3 cups total. And we're going to stir that in until it melts. I'm on pretty low heat right now. So let's see what our consistency is when we're all melted. We'll adjust the consistency, and then it's time to bake our pinwheels. And while our cheese melts, we are going to cut these into pinwheels about 1 inch. A serrated knife works best with these. And we're going to transfer them to a baking sheet that's lined with parchment. Oh, by the way, this is what they look like on the inside. These are going to be good. Here they are, our charcuterie pinwheels. They are ready to go in the oven, which is preheating to 400 degrees. And it should be ready by now, so let's get her done. Our beer cheese is melted and creamy and thickened, and it's going to be a great thing to dip our pinwheels into. And I made a lot of it, so we're going to be dipping some other stuff. Maybe some French fries, maybe some pretzels, and it's going to be a fun thing to have around for snack time. Our charcuterie pinwheels are out of the oven, browned and puffy and a little bit greasy, but you know, it's Italian meats, and that's okay for Super Bowl snacks. A little hot to pick up still. Whoa. Anyway, I screwed up. I forgot to mention the part, or film the part, where I egg washed them. And that's what makes them brown. And they're going to be so delicious, and we are going to serve them up. Here we have our charcuterie pinwheels. A little close-up. Very nice. And here's a close-up of our beer cheese. And they look great on the plate. And great around the edge. And I dipped one. And that's going to be amazing. And happy Super Bowl snacking time. Thank you for joining me for playing with my Super Bowl snacks. This is going to be fun and delicious. It's a little hot, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to take a bite of it, but here we are dipped in our beer cheese. It's not a very pretty color, but delicious. And we're going to continue to make some more of these Super Bowl snacks, I think, because it's still a couple of weeks away. And thank you for joining me this time, and join me again soon.